The actor Timothy Spall plays Sir Winston Churchill again, this time as part of the Commemorations to mark 80 years since VE Day. Now, the actor Timothy Spall is to recite part of Winston Churchill's victory speech from 1945 as he opens the 80th anniversary commemorations of VE Day in London tomorrow. The events will mark the beginning of 4 days of commemorations across the country, as Alice Key reports.
Tomorrow will also be Victory in Europe Day.
1945, and Winston Churchill addresses the nation. The Second World War in Europe is over. To mark 80 years since victory was declared, the actor Timothy Spall will tomorrow in Whitehall recite some of Churchill's most rousing words to start 4 days of national commemorations.
I eventually made an exit of it.
It's not the first time Timothy Spall has portrayed the wartime leader. He also played him in the film The King's Speech. The Normandy veteran Alan Kennett, who's 100, will have the honour of starting a military procession. There was a dress rehearsal for this through the streets of central London in the early hours of yesterday morning. The procession will feature more than 1,300 members of the armed forces marching down Whitehall towards Buckingham Palace. The King and Queen, veterans of the Second World War, and the Prime Minister will all be there. Sir Keir Starmer describes the 80th anniversary as a moment of national unity, a time to remember the sacrifices made by so many. 80 years ago, people took to the streets to celebrate the end of the war. Tomorrow, there will be street parties across the country. For Ruth Barnwell, a 101-year-old veteran of the Women's Royal Naval Service, it's vital to remember.
It's good that they're celebrating it and thinking of all the poor chaps and lots of women as well that lost their lives.
On Tuesday, an installation of ceramic poppies will return to the Tower of London. Hundreds of buildings across the UK will be lit up. And Wednesday will see an anniversary concert. On Thursday, a service at Westminster Abbey will begin with a national 2-minute silence. The message in the coming days: we will remember them.
Now, 4 days of commemorative events will begin tomorrow to mark the 80th anniversary of VE Day. Huge crowds took to the streets in 1945 to celebrate the end of World War II, and among them was Ulla Rigg, who risked her life to save others during the Bristol Blitz. Here's Ulla's story.
Here again is the blood, the sweat and tears that Nazi warfare brings to the men, women and children of city, town and village.
And the first raid on Bristol was incredible. We stood out on the docks and all you could see was this enormous red glow in the sky. And I remember they hit the Germans, the centre of Bristol, where you had some wonderful old Tudor buildings. The damage they did was incredible. That's me, that's Eunice, and that's Margaret. We would go and visit anti-aircraft sites and balloon barrage sites and entertain them. We were all between 14, 15, 16, we're not very old. Very often we were had a real pat on the backs because the soldiers said they'd rather have the sharp spots than what Ensign was sending them, because we were young and we were full of life and vitality. So that was the sharp spots.
The end of the German war had come 11 months after the landings in Normandy. V-Day came less than a year after D-Day. But it was the end of nearly 6 years of war in Europe. No wonder people went a bit crazy.
It was wonderful. We all thought, thank God for that. And I remember being hoisted, either by ladder or something or another, up onto the top of one of those brick shelters that they built, and leading, I don't know how many people in a sing-song. And I was very merry. So that was quite something.
Ulla Rigg with her memories of VE Day. There'll be lots during the course of the next week on the programme between now and Thursday. I've spoken to an amazing veteran who fought on the Western Front and then found himself actually redeployed out to the Far East. I know Charlie's been speaking to people as well.